about Caitlin is that she never was bigger than the program. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, it wasn't like she wasn't trying to take over. It wasn't, I don't know how to explain that. You know what I'm trying to say though?
Yeah, no, I know what you're trying to say. It's like she knows who she is. She comes in. She's going to obviously do her part because that's what being a professional athlete is. But
Kelsey Mitchell just absolutely went off, and honestly, not in the way most people expected. During her sit-down with the legendary Sue Bird, she dropped some pretty candid thoughts about her partnership with Caitlin Clark. And let me tell you, she did not sugarcoat a single thing. But here's the wild part. The internet, predictably, twisted it into every possible direction. So what do you think? Do Kelsey and Caitlin actually fit well together on the court? Or are they just trying to survive under some seriously bad coaching? Because here's the real talk. Everyone has been buzzing about chemistry and fit, but nobody wants to admit the obvious fact that Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark have legitimately been the best backcourt in the WNBA for 2 seasons straight. And that's not even up for debate.
with the understanding of fitting into a team, making sure we fit, making sure we have chemistry. So it's never bigger than like the group
it's like
itself.
She wasn't trying to be bigger than everybody. Like within our locker room, she wasn't trying to be bigger than anyone else. And I think the way that her style of play, it ended up complimenting me, ended up complimenting AB. And so like,
yeah, sure, people try to bring up other combos like Courtney Williams and Kayla McBride, but come on, those duos aren't even in the same league. Caitlin and Kelsey don't just play off each other, they own the floor when they're out there. When they're truly clicking, defenses just look completely lost, scrambling to keep up. But apparently, being the best still isn't enough for some folks, because every single time something goes wrong, someone has to make it personal. Suddenly, it's not about the system, it's not about the coaching, it's Kelsey doesn't like Caitlin, or Caitlin's hogging all the shine. And honestly, it's lazy, it's messy, and it's completely missing the entire point.
We all have our different styles of way of playing it, but the passion for it with Kaylin, when she didn't play compared to when she did play, remained the same. And like, I respected that about her because it could have easily not been that way. You know, you have people that come in and not want to do or buy in once it's not, you know, or once it don't go their way, or once unfortunate things happen and you can't play and injury happens and you're not getting your body the way you want to. And so I can respect the fact that she kept the program, and she didn't let her passion for it waver, because she ended up pouring in more than she thought. And it was dope because she could have easily not been that person.
Now, Kelsey made it crystal clear in this new interview there is absolutely no drama between them. None. In fact, she literally praised Caitlin for how she's handled her unprecedented fame, saying Clark never once tried to act bigger than the program. That, my friends, is a massive statement, especially coming from someone as fiercely competitive as Kelsey. But here's the part that everyone conveniently skipped right over. She revealed that she talked directly to the Fever organization about how they utterly failed to prepare for Caitlin Clark's arrival. Think about that for a second. They had 5 months to plan for the biggest college star in years, and somehow they still acted genuinely surprised when she showed up. That, my friends, is not a player problem. That is a full-blown management disaster. Kelsey basically said the team wasn't ready, either on or off the floor, not the locker room, not the coaching staff, not even the front office. Everything was chaos from day one, and that's not her throwing shade, that's her telling the plain unvarnished truth. But you know how people online are, the second a player speaks honestly, it instantly gets twisted into some made-up beef. And I hear you.
I hear you. Yeah, I would build on what I was saying and add, from what I'm hearing from you, is like she was like that way in the locker room too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it was like she wasn't trying to, like, you know, you could easily be a certain way, and her thing was just like giving her best. Like she gave us like her best when she was in the locker room.
She could literally say, Caitlin is a great teammate, and someone on Twitter would instantly twist it into, she said she's just a teammate, not a friend. That's the kind of absolute nonsense that fuels these fake rivalries. But the way Kelsey handled herself here, pure respect. She gave Caitlin genuine credit for being grounded, professional, and actually buying into the team, even when the system itself made absolutely no sense. Because, let's be honest, that system still doesn't make sense. Steph White, the head coach, keeps forcing Kelsey to play like a primary ball handler, and that flat out is just not her game. Kelsey is a scorer, always has been, always will be. On the ball, off the ball, transition, ISO, spot up. She can fill it up from anywhere on the court, but she is not the one who should be running the offense. Period. That's Caitlyn's job. Caitlyn is a pure floor general. She makes everyone around her better when the ball runs through her. But Steph White keeps trying to split that crucial role like she's experimenting on some science project. And then people wonder why the Fever offense looks completely broken half the time. That's why Kelsey's comments hit harder than people realize. She wasn't complaining, she was pointing out a glaring coaching flaw that everyone can see but no one wants to say out loud. She literally said the entire organization needed to adjust on the floor, off the floor, in the training room, everywhere. That's her way of saying this mess isn't on the players, it's on the people in charge. And honestly, she's absolutely right.
Yeah, the time I've spent with Caitlyn, like, she definitely has, like, oh, you're like my little sister.
Yes.
Because she likes to, like, you know, talk about basketball and kind of troll a little bit. Yeah,
goodness.
Exactly.
You talk about a kid in the candy store, that's Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Tutu, she is, but in a good way. She's a live light. And she
Let's just be real for a second. Caitlin Clark did not get a fair rookie season, not by a long shot. She was dealing with injuries for most of it, and even when she was playing, she was surrounded by absolute chaos. The rotations were completely off, the offense was inconsistent at best, and the media was treating every single missed shot like it was breaking news. Yet somehow, she still produced, and Kelsey? She just kept grinding, no excuses. She showed up, carried the offense when needed, and played through it all. So when Kelsey said Caitlyn was never bigger than the program, that's actually one of the highest compliments she could have ever given, because it means Clark never let her insane fame ruin her locker room energy. She didn't isolate herself. She didn't make it all about her, and you can tell that's genuine respect, not some canned PR talk. Sue Bird, being the legend she is, even noticed how calm and real Kelsey was about it, saying it best. Kelsey wasn't even asked about Caitlin Clark, but she brought her up anyway, and in a genuinely positive light. That's not shade, that's pure loyalty. Now, of course, people online love to act like the Fever's fit is completely doomed, and that's where the sarcasm kicks in, because apparently fans on the internet know better than the players themselves. The funniest part, these two actually like each other. They've said it repeatedly, but people who clearly don't understand ball keep trying to create fake drama for clicks. Here's the truth. Kelsey and Caitlyn absolutely can fit together. They've already shown it, but they desperately need the right system. And right now, that is definitively not Steph White's system. Remember when the two actually coached themselves late last season? You know, when they stopped listening to Christie's sides. They went on that amazing 10-game stretch where everything just clicked. They were moving, spacing, reading each other perfectly, and it just worked. That wasn't luck. That was what happens when you actually let smart players run their own show. The problem now is that Kelsey's role keeps switching. One game she's the lead scorer, the next she's deferring, then suddenly she's running plays. You simply can't expect chemistry or consistency. When the system changes every single quarter, Kelsey's not the problem. Caitlyn's not the problem. The system is, and Kelsey's smart enough to know that. That's precisely why she said it so carefully. She didn't call anyone out by name, but everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. It's not Caitlyn, it's not the locker room, it's the coaching staff and the front office that completely failed to build around them properly. But Kelsey's far too professional to turn it into a circus. She just dropped her thoughts calmly, maturely, and went on about her business. Meanwhile, the fans online started losing their minds like she just declared war. And that's where the sarcasm kicks in again, because people keep forgetting these are grown women who actually talk to each other. They don't need Twitter detectives decoding every single word. You can literally hear in Kelsey's tone that she genuinely respects Caitlyn's work ethic. She called her a light, a live personality, and said she's always positive even when things aren't going her way. That's not fake talk, that's someone who spent a season sharing a locker room with her and sees the effort up close. And honestly, it says a lot that Kelsey appreciates that, because she's the kind of player who is all about discipline. She's been through years of bad coaching, injuries, Team changes and she still shows up every single night. So when she says she respects Caitlyn's energy, that truly means something. But you'd think from Twitter's reaction that she threw a chair across the locker room. People heard she talked to the organization and instantly made it sound like she was demanding a trade. No, she was saying she wanted the team to be better prepared, you know, something normal professionals do. Yet somehow in the WNBA world, being honest about leadership is treated like a scandal, and that's exactly what Kelsey was talking about. Fans take everything personally. You can't even say, I want the offense to flow better, without people instantly assuming you hate your teammate. It's like logic doesn't exist anymore. Even Kelsey said it herself. She doesn't get why in the WNBA you can't criticize the system without being labeled as disloyal. In every other sport, that's just part of the game. But in this league, the second you tell the truth, you're jealous. And let's not forget, both Kelsey and Caitlyn want to play together. They've said it repeatedly, but the internet doesn't care. They'd rather stir fake tension because that gets more clicks. In reality, Kelsey's comments actually showed how much she values Caitlyn. She literally said Caitlyn's game complements hers when Caitlyn chooses to play that way. That's not a dig, that's just fact, because there are two versions of Kelsey Mitchell, the ISO scorer and the off-ball sniper. When she's playing off the ball, she is absolutely deadly. She could literally lead the league in scoring if the system just gave her the root. And that's exactly what she's saying. Give Caitlyn the ball, let her create, and Kelsey will torch defenses from outside. But if you try to make Kelsey run the offense, it just slows everything down. That's on the coach, not the players. And Kelsey knows that. She's not dumb. Her instincts might push her into tough shots sometimes, but that's fixable. That's something coaching can guide, not blame. That's why she deserves credit. She's self-aware. She knows her strengths and weaknesses. And when you have two players like her and Caitlyn, both ultra-competitive but humble enough to adjust, you can build something truly amazing. But again, it all comes down to leadership. Something the Fever have been sorely lacking since, well, forever. The fact that Kelsey said the organization wasn't ready for Caitlyn just proves that the problems start from the very top. They had months to prepare for the biggest rookie arrival in years and still acted clueless. That's not on Caitlyn. That's not on Kelsey. That's on poor planning. Kelsey speaking up about it. That's leadership, not conflict. Now let's get one thing straight. Kelsey Mitchell didn't hop on Sue Bird's podcast to start drama, but you know how it goes. The internet hears one thoughtful comment, and suddenly they're acting like Kelsey brought a flamethrower to Caitlin Clark's locker. People love chaos more than they love basketball IQ. So Kelsey talks about adjustments, and instantly folks turn it into, oh, she's blaming Caitlyn. No, calm down. She's literally saying the Fever organization had months to get ready for Clark, and still looked like they were reading the script 5 minutes before curtain call. That's not throwing shade, those are just facts. The Fever knew they were drafting the most talked about player in women's sports and somehow completely failed to plan for her arrival. No locker room structure, no clear roles, just vibes and hashtag. And Kelsey, being the pro she is, was probably thinking, you know, maybe we should have talked about how to play around the person ESPN won't stop showing. But here's where Kelsey's words actually hit home. She said Caitlyn never acted bigger than the program. That's not just respect, that's rare in modern sports. Because when you bring in a player with Clark's spotlight, it usually gets messy. Yet Kelsey said nope, Caitlyn handled it like a grown-up. No diva stuff, no power trips, just ball. Of course, some people still found a way to twist it. You'd think they were allergic to common sense. They heard adjustment period and went, oh no, she's jealous. Like please, this is the same Kelsey Mitchell who was dropping buckets before Caitlyn even showed up. She doesn't need to be jealous. She's already proven she can cook any defense she faces. Now, Sue Bird, being the legend she is, asked Kelsey about leadership, and that's where it got real. Kelsey said people overlook her leadership because social media runs on narratives, not basketball logic. And she's absolutely right. The internet decides who the leader is based on likes, not actual locker room impact. You can score 25 a night, mentor teammates, and still get less attention than a rookie holding a Gatorade bottle. She also mentioned talking directly to the Fever organization about those early struggles. That's not complaining, that's accountability. Kelsey didn't say, trade me. She said we should have handled things better. Big different. And then she gave Caitlyn credit for being passionate, even when injured. That's huge. Because remember, Caitlyn wasn't even a 100% this season. She was out there limping through games while social media was busy turning every missed shot into a scandal. But Kelsey, she saw effort, not excuses. Now tell me, how often do you see that kind of raw honesty between teammates in the WNBA, or anywhere really? Usually it's all PR talk. We love each other, we're building chemistry. Next question. But Kelsey actually talked about the process, the awkwardness, the growing pains, and how it all made sense eventually. That's rare. Here's the funny part. After the interview, fans acted like Kelsey just signed her transfer papers. No, she literally said she likes playing with Caitlyn. She respects her game. She even said Caitlyn's energy keeps the team alive. But of course, some WNBA Twitter detectives decided it meant she was sending signals. Yeah, signals of maturity, maybe. And look, basketball-wise, the fit isn't always perfect. We all know that. Caitlyn needs the ball, and Kelsey thrives when she's free to shoot. It's like two alpha guards trying to share one remote control. But guess what? When it works, it really works. There were games where they looked unstoppable, like defenders had to pick which one to suffer against. So Kelsey wasn't lashing out, she was explaining, she was saying, give us time, we're figuring this out. And if you can't handle two top players needing rhythm, maybe basketball isn't your sport, because at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell want to win together. They respect each other, and when that finally clicks under a real system, not the chaos Steph White's been running, the Fever are going to make a lot of loudmouths go very, very quiet.